Welcome to Great Talk and Entertainment. I'm your host, KJ, and this is the podcast where we review movies and TV shows from all your favorite superheroes, including Marvel Comics and DC Comics and much more. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talk and Entertainment official channel, baby. Let's go! As we continue on the new Disney Plus series by Marvel Studios, She-Hulk Law and Attorney. This is episode 4 review, and it's a spoiler, so if you have not seen this show, please pause this, give me a thumbs up to help my channel grow and kick the algorithm's butt. Go watch it, come back, check out my review, and then let me know how you feel about each and every episode and the whole show as a whole. Let me know how I'm doing. I would love your feedback to help this channel grow and to always do better for you and the fans. So, you've been warned. Let's go. Episode 4 continues from She-Hulk getting jumped by the Wrecking Crew, but really, she laid the smackdown on them. And the next day, her amazing dad became Super Dad, who was ready to put them into the graveyard, as he says, with the shovel. But he's willing to put up cameras and trap, and like I say, he's willing to go to that gangsta mode on them to be protect his daughter. And Jennifer refuses her dad's help, of course, because this episode also shows how difficult it is to date through dating apps, especially in California or just in general. Like, if you've been there, you've been there. You know what I'm talking about when I say that. She learns that she gets more dates as She-Hulk, and then you'll see WWE superstar David Otunga. David Otunga shows up, and he is hitting on her. And you notice that she would go through different, like a speed date, and she comes across with some people who are only going on these dates with her to get information of her or even her own blood. As an example was shown by Todd, who was trying to have her blood. And there was some funny and exciting moments that definitely happened in this episode, and there was a lot. And also in this episode, we see Wong, who has his own little adventure in this episode, who takes on an old student from the ancient realm, and he goes by Donnie Blaze, which is probably a little poke at Johnny Blaze, aka the Fantastic Four. So there's a lot of that, but this episode also shows demons, and this shows maybe a future love interest for Wong. And this episode also just explains that Wong is trying to mentor She-Hulk in a way to show her that how much it is important for her to step up as a superhero, or maybe an Avengers, but who knows how that goes. So there's a lot of going on, but it's definitely like I said, there was those funny, exciting moments that definitely were in this episode. And what I really like about this episode particularly is that this episode is showing so much like teases that Marvel fans are definitely getting excited about, because there's probably like some potential spin-offs, potential, big bad villains like Thanos level. They're teasing obviously like the upcoming of Daredevil, but maybe other Marvel cameos that you wouldn't expect, especially from the Incredible Hulk movie, the Ed Norton version, and just so much more. So there's definitely, this episode has got a whole packed, and I think this is an episode that is very well balanced, I would just like to say, because, if you're just watching the show just to watch the show, great. It's a rememberable episode, and it definitely will make you want to go back again and watch it again and see the next episode, which will be episode 5. I think we're hitting the mid-season, baby. And again, it also caters to the Marvel fans to get excited for upcoming Marvel projects and films, and lot of teases that may or may not happen in that show, but there's going to be a lot of big payoffs in future Marvel films, whatever Marvel films they may be. So it's a lot. It's definitely a lot. So we're gonna get into it. So let's start with She-Hulk. As I said earlier, she was dating, and it was kind of funny. In when you date, when you're single and you're dating, it's definitely in the West Side, like California, or the East Coast, like New York or whatever. It's a bigger population, and you definitely you'll see some outrageous things. You'll see some out of character moments, and it just shows her how much struggles uh, just being her, because what this episode really highlights on is they only like her when she is She-Hulk, and obviously even like her one night stand with that I forgot that guy's name, but she had a one night stand or whatever, and it's like, oh, when he woke up and he's like, oh, this is what you look like without makeup type thing, like, I don't know. It's like the harsh reality for her is, as much as like her just being her human form, which is Jennifer. They're like, oh, I really wanted to wake up to She-Hulk, which is kind of typical man, blah blah blah, right? But it just shows that uh, she has to learn that, and this is a typical like superhero story in a way, just a little format where like superheroes having a relationship is very hard because when as like Stan Lee or Uncle Ben would say, with great power comes great responsibility. Again, this is just another way of saying that without actually saying it in a way, but it's like the responsibility of her being a superhero is definitely creeping up on her, because you'll notice that now the world's getting in danger. Now everybody's attacking these cities. Like the Abomination's out. The Hulk. He left Earth. Like she's gonna come across to the idea of really balancing superhero and her regular job as a lawyer. So it really just reflects on like, this is her version of, with great power comes great responsibility, and she's struggling. Like she's struggling. That's typical a superhero format of storytelling with any superhero, whether it's Marvel, DC, or whatever. Like that's totally it. Um, and another thing you'll notice, there's this guy named Todd. Now Todd, he's a little suspicious. So uh, he was kind of asking about, calling her a specimen. He was calling her like, an experiment. He was asking her questions about her cousin, and if he could have the example of her blood. So now that she's discovering like people are going to use her not just for a booty call, but to have the same ability as a Hulk, basically. And we know that in the Incredible Hulk movie, we know the leader. He was originally the guy who cloned Bruce Banner's blood, and this is when like obviously Ed Norton was playing the Hulk, and obviously they never really touched upon it for many obvious reasons. But now, since they have a She-Hulk series out, now they're dipping in, and I wonder if Todd is a fan or a protege of the leader. Maybe he is, working with him. Maybe he's trying to be him. Maybe like that's his master and he's the student, right? So maybe that's what it is. What I think, and that's what I think. I think there's. I think this is just a hint of you're gonna see more callbacks and characters that may return in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that we haven't seen since Phase One, obviously. So this is definitely it seems like there's going to be some characters we haven't seen for a while that may be coming back, and Todd was just the hint of it. And I think that this character has a bigger role. Obviously, I think at some point in the Marvel phase we'll see him again. So, and then let's talk about Wong, because what we're going to talk about Wong and her and She-Hulk helping Wong, and the sling ring, and then the uh, she was gonna copyright infringement type thing. So Wong and Donnie Blaze know each other since the training school of mystic arts, and Wong, it obviously is a thing that since Doctor Strange, the first Doctor Strange, and obviously Shang-Chi, Wong is getting into the today's culture of music, films. We see him watching The Sopranos, and they spoil The Sopranos, which is okay. It's a show I thought I was gonna watch one day in life, but I just not. I don't think I'm ever gonna get to The Sopranos, so I don't really know much about it. I know what it's. I know it was such a big thing back in the '90s or early 2000s, whatever. I was a child when season one came out, basically. So I never really got into it. And it was on HBO, and yeah. We had regular cable, but we see, and then this girl named Madison, which is spelled totally differently, which I'm not gonna even try. She she just appears in Wong's living room, and she talks about that she had made a deal with a guy named Jake, who was a goat, and signed a contract in blood, which this could be the first legit, solid, clear hint or clue that Mephisto is in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which you kind of knew since WandaVision and Loki, but this one's really confirming it, and it looks like they will be introducing Mephisto a lot sooner than I thought, and I just think that's really cool. Which that's why you see like demon goblins and the sling ring with Donnie Blaze. It seems like Donnie Blaze is a cheap trick magician who does cheap generic tricks, um, which I'm not. Hey, I think they were kind of entertaining. I mean, there's something about Marvel and these like magician, little cheap magician tricks from like Ant Man to now Donnie Blaze. It's just funny. He still had his sling ring, which that's how you make the little teleport, and he does not know how to use it, so he's just opening up anything, sending bunch of drunk women who love margaritas or martinis, whatever, and sending their drunk ass right in that thing. And that's yeah. When you're in California, there's ton of magicians and ton of women like Madison who are like that in California. So that's nothing new, but it's just funny to see this in a Marvel show. And with this is Wong is getting tired, Donnie Blaze doing this, because obviously this is dangerous stuff. The more you open little portals, this unbalance the world. And he also references the Spider-Man memory erase thing again. He mentions the dark dimension. He mentions, the mirror universe. Like it's a weird thing. And you know what I like? My favorite scene in that episode is when they went to court and Donnie's Blaze is hype, like manager, boss, whatever, hype man was there, and his lawyer was like a cheap magician trick. I thought that was so cool. Uh, but apparently, there's no harm, no foul, according to the judge, because Donnie Blaze woo her with, if I believe, it was a rabbit. So it worked, I guess. Or was it a bird? I forget. Anyway, but it was a cute animal, and I did think that was so funny and awesome. That is awesome because this series is really showing how like the regular folks, the non superheroes, the civilization people, how are they accepting to live among the Marvel characters like Spider Man, She Hulk, and so forth. But it's so cool, and I really like the fact that we got this episode gave us more Wong, aka Wongers, and I guess and even in the post credits scene, we learned that Wong, what type of alcohol he likes to drink, and what alcohol he regrets drinking, like vodka and goat milk. So he's a gin and tonic man, which I would never expect Wong to be a gin and tonic man, but proved me wrong. So that's awesome. And now we go back to She-Hulk. And Mephisto, like now in She-Hulk, this definitely like uh gosh, this changes the game of Marvel. Like we know like there's the Marvel Secret Invasion that's coming out. We know that they're doing a Captain America New World Order. And we know that they're doing like Daredevil Reborn. We know we're doing Echo. But they're also building up like I think uh uh another big war. And how do I put this? It's like I think that I just don't know how to put it. I think at some point they're gonna they're gonna go a whole different direction. Now, so in my mind, I believe that after we get through Kang the Conqueror, I think Mephisto would be the one next. I mean, the character Mephisto is one of those big bad villains that you just don't know, right? You just don't kill off. It's not just a one hit. It's like Thanos. It's kind of like you can get like two movies out of it. Like Mephisto's just a character. You just don't do one and done thing. You kind of have to build it up. So it seems like, and they're going more slow with this one, but the build up's going to be amazing because when you look back and they get more closer to introducing Mephisto, I think this is the way. I think people are going to really enjoy an Avengers film where it's not saving the world, it's pretty much fighting the devil type thing where we don't even know which Marvel characters will be the Avengers of this series, which Demon Goblins, like I said. So I wonder what it is, but to me, this definitely Mephisto connects to Doctor Strange, Thor, to Loki. Like you don't know. Like I said, like we know that Hercules exists in the MCU. We know Zeus exists in the MCU. So Mephisto, this is gonna be a war of like it's gonna be like Avengers versus the gods, basically, and it's another build up. It's another slow build up, but this is so cool. I really like this. Um, At the end of this episode, we get the fact that She-Hulk is getting sued for trademark by Titanium for the name She-Hulk, and that's pretty interesting. I I don't know what to think about that. I think that this is the main villain. I don't think they're going to do any more with this character, but I'm only speaking on this. But episode 5 was definitely going to give us the answers to why. But I think this is really cool that she's using the law and social medias and news report outlets to get She-Hulk for her diabolic plan. That's really cool. Uh, but other than that, what I get out of this is like She-Hulk. She. It seems like if they had to do a season 2, she's definitely got some character villains that she could definitely have more interaction with. And definitely so far, I think She-Hulk is a potential Marvel show that should get a season 2. And what I what I got, like, another thing, because like uh they hinted Leapfrog, or yeah, Leapfrog. Yeah, he's a mid-level villain, but he's the type of guy who would pay like that gang, the Wrecking Crew, to go get She-Hulk. He's funny. He's comic. In the comic books, his dad was rich, but I think it'd be cool if, in this version of the live action Leapfrog, he would be the rich one. Like, maybe he grew up poor, then he became a billionaire, and or even a millionaire or whatever, right? And just he's kind of goofy and comicky, and he's just trying to get She-Hulk, and he's trying to have her blood and make other Hulks and whatever. And I just think that'd be, I think like if they do a season 2, I think they should just dive in and really focus on Leapfrog in this, because it'd be funny and be great to watch. And this She-Hulk character has got so much story that they need to, even a movie, like they got to keep going on with She-Hulk. And this episode here definitely wants me to have more She-Hulk episodes, seasons, even movies. Like I think it's such a great show, and I really enjoy it. So overall, like I said, it's very well balanced it out. It's been catering to each different multiple different audience of who's watching the Marvel series. Like, it's a really good show. It's really fun to watch on Disney Plus. It's so great. So I'm giving this episode a 10, 1 out of 10. It's getting a 10. So it's got so much, and I think there's a lot that's going to be happening, and she's definitely going to be part of the next MCU phase, no matter what. She's just too important not to. So thank you for listening to my review. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment. Hit that notification button so you can always be updated with all my latest content. Thank you and peace